The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is Caroline from Peak Pro, and I'm very excited to have Phil Frost, the founder and COO of Main Street ROI, here with us. Phil will be going over the 4 pillars of successful digital marketing with us and hopefully give us a lot of tips and tricks on how we can improve our marketing strategies. So thank you so much, Phil.
Thanks for having me, Caroline, and thanks to the entire Peak Pro team for organizing this. So I will get started. Again, my name is Phil Frost from Main Street ROI, and this is the presentation about the 4 pillars of successful digital marketing. And here's some housekeeping. If you're new to GoToWebinar, there's a questions box, so you can type questions as we go. I'll address those as they come in, and if we have some time at the end, we'll do a live Q&A. I always recommend you turn off distractions like email, TV, radio. Definitely turn off Facebook. And I do have a quick poll just to see who's on today. So on your screen, just launch that poll. I just have a series of questions here. First one being, are you currently working with a marketing consultant or agency, with the obvious answers of yes and no. And then the third option being, we are an agency or I am a consultant. Typically when we do these trainings, we get a lot of consultants on the line. I'll close that out. Looks like 90% are not using a marketing consultant or agency. Next question here, just get a sense for the size of your marketing campaigns. So the question here is, what is your monthly digital marketing budget? Less than 500, 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 3,000, or more than 3,000. Looks like over 70% less than 500, 20% or so at about 500 to 1,000, and a few in the 1,000 to 3,000 range. Last question here. To get a sense for the digital marketing channels that you're using. If you're using Google AdWords and or Bing, Facebook advertising, email marketing, social media, and then other. If you're using something else, if you could just type that into the Q&A box. I see Jose typed in hi, so hello to Jose. A couple people did say other. Again, you should see a questions box. You can just type that in. All right, I'm going to close that out, and we're going to dive right into the presentation now. So here's what we're going to cover. I'm going to introduce everyone to what I call the 4 pillars of successful digital marketing. As we go through the pillars, I'll walk through top 5 website traffic sources, 3 key areas to improve your sales conversions or your website conversion rates, the critical elements you need to track your return on investment from your digital marketing. At the end, I do have a special offer for all of the attendees. I see Christopher wrote in local magazine advertising, so I appreciate that. Again, my name is Phil Frost. I'm the founder and COO of Main Street ROI. Our business provides digital marketing services like SEO, advertising, email marketing, and we also provide training like this training you're on today. We do a lot of free presentations. We also have paid courses that go into more detail about a typical or a certain digital tactic. To date, we've helped over 2,000 businesses with their digital marketing, and my thought leadership has been featured in Forbes, Inc., Amex, as well as Mashable. And this is my favorite slide here. I'm also the very proud father of these kids here who are home. They have a snow day today. It's a blizzard in Manhattan, which is where I'm located. I'm on 23rd and 6th Ave here in the office. And these kids and my wife are up on the Upper West Side at home, cozy inside, away from the blizzard. That's Violet on the left. She's now just over 4. Emmett who's going to be 2 years old, April 2nd, and my beautiful wife, Erin, on the right. We actually took this almost exactly a year ago on my son's birthday up on the Upper West Side. There's a West End beer hall, which is a great place for a birthday party. All right, intro to the 4 pillars. And thank you, Christopher, for the congrats. So before we get into it, I found this online a couple of years ago, so it's a little bit old, and the point is not to actually memorize this. The point of this slide here, Lumascape, which is another company that put this together, they went out, did some research, found all the different companies in the digital marketing space, and tried to organize it based on what that company does. You've got web analytics in the bottom left, you've got online video way in the bottom left, email optimization, there's SEO platforms and tools. The point of this slide is to basically illustrate how complicated things are. And that's really the first reason why you need the 4 pillars framework. And that's really the reason why I put this together. In talking with businesses, they are typically very overwhelmed by all of the options out there. They're getting bombarded every day with probably salespeople cold calling, cold emailing, telling them that they need SEO, advertising, social media, email marketing, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, all that good stuff. And the reality is, all of those things can work, but all activity is not going to lead to more sales in your business. So you need a framework to prioritize all of these options. So again, a lot of these, I'm not saying one option is better than the other, or any of these tools are not going to work. It's just there's an overwhelming amount of information and tools out there, so you need to have some kind of way to simplify this so you know exactly where to put your time and effort. And that leads us to the 4 pillars formula. And it's a simple formula. It's the revenue that's generated from your digital marketing is going to be equal to T, which is traffic, C, which is your conversion rates, multiplied by the value of your customer. So if you have traffic coming to your site, that's one of the key variables. You need to have you need to be converting that traffic into sales, and that's called your sales conversion rate. And then if you multiply that all by the value of your customer, that's the total amount of revenue that you'll generate from your digital marketing. Now, based on that formula, which holds true for no matter what type of business you're in, that is how much money you're going to make. It's going to be your traffic multiplied by your conversion rate, multiplied by the value of your customer. That is what leads us to the 4 pillars, which we've got pillar number 1, which is your traffic. You need to be driving traffic to your site. Second pillar is conversion. You need to convert that traffic into sales. You need to be increasing your customer value. That's kind of the hidden ingredient. That's something that you don't see, you don't really know about your competitors. So if you've ever looked at a competitor and wondered, hey, how are they spending so much money in Google AdWords search advertising, for example, or how come I'm seeing them everywhere? They're on Facebook and all over the internet advertising. Well, the chances are pretty good that they just have a higher customer value than you do, and that allows them to spend more on their advertising. And last but not least is tracking, which is what I call the ugly duckling of the digital marketing world. Nobody really likes tracking and analytics, but that's absolutely critical. You need to have the proper tracking in place to be measuring your traffic, your conversions, and your customer value. That's how it all ties together, and that's how you can actually make the decisions in your marketing. So you may be wondering, do you really need all the 4 pillars? And that's what this slide is for here. You obviously need the first pillar, which is traffic. If you're not getting any traffic to your site, you're not going to get any leads and sales. That's pretty straightforward. A lot of businesses get traffic to their site, but they're missing that second pillar, conversion. So you might fall under that category where, hey, traffic's not really your issue. You need to have ways to better convert that traffic into leads and sales. So that's the second pillar. Third pillar, I already mentioned this. It's kind of the hidden ingredient. It can really be the key ingredient to a profitable marketing campaign, and that's whether or not you have a high customer value so that you're profitable with your marketing. And lastly, you absolutely need to be tracking so that you can improve each of those three pillars. So really the name of the game over time is to increase the amount of traffic you're getting to your site. You want to increase the conversion rate, so how much of that traffic is converting to leads and sales, and continually increase the value of your customer. Those are the three pillars, or other people might call them the three levers in your business that you can pull. And if you're pulling all three of those levers, that's how you can dramatically drive up the leads and sales in your business. All right, so let's dive into each pillar. Pillar number one, traffic. And if you're just starting out, so if you have a brand new business, brand new website, this is by far your biggest priority. You need to be getting traffic to your site. And ultimately the goal here is you want to find those marketing channels that will consistently send you qualified prospects. Every visitor is not created equally. There are certain traffic sources that are going to give you really high quality leads and sales, and there's going to be other traffic sources that are just more of the looky-loos, just doing research online, and those folks are really not going to ultimately make a purchase. So here are the top 5 traffic sources that you need to prioritize in your business. First one here, and it's typically what I would recommend every business at least set up the foundation for SEO. This is search engine optimization. This is getting your website to rank high when people are searching for you in Google or Bing or some other search engine. So there are things you can do on your site, which is called on-page SEO. You can make edits to your site to make it more relevant for certain keywords that people are searching. And then there are things you can do off of your site, which is called off-page SEO, and that's primarily getting other businesses to link to you. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Next traffic source is online advertising. I typically recommend, again, most businesses start out advertising in Google AdWords search advertising, because these are literally people searching for your product or service. So these people are going to Google, they're ready to make a buying decision, and they're searching for your product or service. Those are going to be the best leads for your business. And then there's other advertising. There's Bing ads, which is again people searching on Bing. Then there is what's called the display network, where you can show ads on other websites and target people reading about topics related to your product or service. And then there's social media advertising, like Facebook advertising. There's billions of people going to Facebook, and chances are your prospects are using Facebook, so that can be a good option to target your ideal prospects, get your product or service in front of them, and drive traffic to your site. Third traffic source is something that I find is underutilized. This is referral partners. The whole concept here is to set aside some time with your team and brainstorm other businesses that are targeting your ideal customers. So who else, ideally a complementary product or service, not a competitor. So a complementary product or service that's also catering to your ideal customer. So just make a list of different types of businesses, and then do the research and find those exact businesses and actually reach out to them to form strategic partnerships. And this can be a fantastic way to drive really high quality traffic to your business. This is something that we actively do in our own business, and we encourage it with our clients to build these relationships. It's one of the best in terms of quality of traffic, as well as a stable traffic source. So if you can form these partnerships with other businesses, they can really last a long time versus some of the other options like online advertising, where you need the budget to be paying for those ads, or with SEO, things can change in the algorithm, and that can affect your traffic. Whereas if you have these referral partners sending traffic to your site consistently, that can be a very stable traffic source. The fourth traffic source here is social media marketing. This can require a lot of work as far as publishing content. So that would be the caveat here. You do need to have the resources in your business to publish a lot of content. And if you can do that, it can certainly be a great way to get in front of your customers, earn their mind share, have them consistently seeing your content and bringing them back to your site. And the fifth traffic source would be for the businesses that are already using offline tactics like direct mail, print, radio, TV. So if you are already investing and finding success in offline tactics, then it's basically a no-brainer to integrate your website into those tactics. So it's just as basic as adding another call to action in, let's say, your direct mail piece, which right now might be to just place a phone call or come to your store or office. You can have another call to action to cater to those folks that might want to go to your website to do a little bit of research first, or to get a coupon offer or some kind of special offer or special deal. So you can integrate your website, have another call to action in your direct mail, print, radio, or TV, which is giving it should increase the response rate, because you're giving your audience just another method to respond to your ad. All right, so throughout this presentation, I'll have these take action slides. This is the first one here, related to the first pillar of traffic. I mentioned this already. I do recommend every business set up what I call their SEO foundation. And to do that, you'll need to research the relevant keywords. So what are people actually searching to find you online? When they go to Google, what do they actually type into Google? And the tool that you can use, it's totally free. It's Google's Keyword Planner tool. And to find it, you can just go to Google and literally Google Keyword Planner tool. It should be the first result there. A little bit of a warning, you do need to set up a Google AdWords advertising account to use that tool. So you have to jump through that hoop, but you do not have to pay any money or advertise to use the tool. So just go through the process, create an account. Then if you're not already advertising, you don't need to, and then you'll get access to the tool, and you can use that tool like a thesaurus, type in some of the words you think your prospects are searching, and the Keyword Planner tool will show you how many times people are in fact searching those words, and they'll show you additional phrases that you might not have thought of. Next, once you know what people are searching, you need to optimize what I call your core pages. Those are your product or service pages on your site. You want to optimize those for your target keywords. You want to make sure your title of the page includes your target keyword. Make sure the copy on the page is about and relevant to your target keyword. Next, for businesses looking to attract local customers, so if you're looking to get in front of people in a certain radius around your store or office, let's say a 20-mile radius or 50-mile radius from your office, then you definitely want to set up business profiles or accounts in business directories, and that will give you what's called citations. That's the next bullet here, and that will help you rank high in Google's map results. So that's called local SEO. So the main point here, if you're not already, make sure you set up a Google My Business account and set up a lot of business directories, all of the relevant ones for your industry. That's going to give you citations. It also gives you some links. And those are a couple of the ingredients that will help you rank higher when people are searching for your keywords. And the second action item here would be to test Google AdWords search. I already mentioned that. The caveat would be if you have the budget. It does require you to have a bit of an advertising budget in the neighborhood of $500 a month to $1,000 a month to invest in ads. Otherwise, depending on your industry and the cost of those keywords, if you don't have a sizable budget, you just won't get really a significant sample of traffic. So you won't get really much results, and it'll take a long time to see what's working and what's not working if you have a very small budget. So if you don't have a big budget, that's okay. I would probably invest that in SEO or one of the other traffic tactics I mentioned before. But if you do have the budget for advertising, that can be a very fast way to start driving leads and sales. All right, pillar number 2 is conversions. And I hinted at this earlier that it's a huge leverage point if you're already getting traffic to your site. And if you think about it, if you already have, let's say, 500 visitors a month, 1,000 visitors, 10,000 visitors, whatever it is, and you're already generating a certain amount of leads and sales, then you can easily calculate your conversion rate. You just take the sales you're getting per month, divide it by the traffic, and that's your sales conversion rate. Now, if you can double your conversion rate, you will instantly double the number of sales you're getting from the exact same amount of traffic that you're getting. So that's why this is a huge leverage point, and it's something that a lot of businesses don't think about, but they can instantly double the amount of leads and sales without any additional investment in advertising and other marketing tactics. So all they have to do is improve that conversion rate on their site. So the goal is obvious. You want to increase the number of leads and sales that you're getting from your existing website traffic. And there are really 3 critical areas. First one here is website copy and layout. So you want to take a look at your website. Specifically, you want to look at the pages people are landing on. Those are called your landing pages. So those are the entry pages to your website. You want to take a look at those and see if there's a clear call to action. Is it very obvious what the visitors should do next when they get to your site? Do you have social proof? That's something that I find is not included a lot on websites. People, more importantly, people might have it on their site, have like a testimonials page, but you might not have it on the specific pages that people are landing on. So again, really look at the entry pages on your site, so your home page and maybe your products and service pages that people are landing on, and do you actually have some social proof there? Because you should not assume that people are going to click around on your site and actually go to the specific page where you have your testimonials. You know, put them on the page where they're landing. And that should be obvious, but in case it's not, you really need that because there's so much skepticism online. I know personally when I come to a site that I've never been to before, and I don't know who this business is, I'm going to want to see some social proof. And if I see that right away, that basically puts my guard down. I can kind of relax a little bit and take my time on that site. But if I don't see that right away, then my guard's going to be up, and I'm going to be trigger happy and might just click the back button and leave the site more quickly. And lastly, as far as website copy and layout, I want to emphasize the importance of having a responsive website. And that's because mobile and tablet usage is increasing every day. Actually, more people go to google.com on their mobile devices than they do on a desktop computer. That's pretty crazy because when I got started in this industry back in 2006, basically all you had to worry about were desktop computers. You would just design your site for desktops, and that was that. But now you really need to have a site that functions and looks really nice in desktops as well as tablets as well as mobile devices. That's absolutely critical, more so in certain industries where more of your customers are on their mobile devices. Sandra just asked, what is social proof again? That's really just testimonials. It can be a text version of a testimonial. It could be an audio recording of a customer giving you a testimonial, or even better, it could be a video testimonial of one of your customers. Second key area is what I call a lead magnet. That's simply a free report, or if you have an e-commerce business, it could be a coupon. That's a really straightforward lead magnet. Or it could be some kind of tool on your site that you offer in exchange for an email address. So the goal of a lead magnet is to capture email addresses from your visitors, because the vast majority of visitors to your site are just going to leave. They're not going to call you. They're not going to go to your store. They're not going to complete a contact form. They're going to check you out, and the timing's just not going to be right. They're going to leave your site and likely never return because they're going to forget that you even exist. So the solution to that problem, or one of the solutions, is to have lots of lead magnets on your site. So when somebody comes to your site and they land on your page, they read about your product or service, you want to show them a compelling offer. So it could be a free report, free coupon, so getting a discount on their purchase, or a tool. You want to show that right away in exchange for their email address. And if you can get a lot of people to fill that out, rather than having 98% of your traffic come to your site and just leave, now you're starting to capture, let's say, 10% of the traffic. You're starting to get their email addresses, and you can follow up with them via email marketing. And that leads us to the third critical area to improve conversion rates. So it's not just your website, because when you have all of these elements working together, you've got really good copy, a nice layout, and you have a lead magnet on the site where people are giving you email addresses, now you can start following up. And you can follow up with what are called autoresponders. And those are automatic emails that are sent by an email program like MailChimp, Constant Contact, Aweber. Doesn't matter what program you're using, they all send autoresponders. And then you can also have an email newsletter. And the reason that's important is because, again, people are going to come to your site. If the timing is not going to be right, then hopefully they'll give you their email address because you'll have a compelling report or a coupon, and then you can follow up with them. So they're not ready to buy today, but now a couple weeks go by, you can follow up via email, a couple months, even a year goes by, and if you're staying top of mind with an email consistently month after month, then you're going to be the company that they turn to when the timing is right and they need to make that purchase. Jennifer had a good question. Should it be a pop-up? So I generally recommend what's called a Lightbox pop-up or a modal window. I'm sure you've seen these. It's when you're on the site and it looks like a pop-up and it kind of grays out the background. So the site turns a little bit gray, and then a window opens up and it has some kind of compelling offer there. You know, something like save 20% off your first purchase. Just enter your email address. People enter their email address, click redeem coupon or something like that. And you can take this a step further, and on the thank you page, after they complete that form, you ideally want to have an offer on that page. So let's say it's an e-commerce business, and you give them a coupon offer right on that thank you page after they gave you their email address. You can have a compelling offer to actually buy that product right away during that visit. You could even put the coupon, you know, in their cart, so it's right there and it's easy to make that purchase. Or if you have a service business and you're giving away, let's say, a free report on the thank you page, you definitely want to use that opportunity to further sell your service and potentially have some compelling reason to schedule an appointment right on that thank you page. Okay, so here are the action items for conversion. You want to add a strong call to action on your website. So a call to action is just what you want the visitor to do to take that next step in the buying process. And it does depend on your business. You might want them to call, so make sure that phone number is front and center, or not really centered, typically the upper right-hand corner. To make sure it's in large font so people can see it. We talked about social proof or testimonials, adding a lead magnet. Oops. Sorry about that. Computer just freaked out. Adding a lead magnet, and then adding the email follow-up. We mentioned autoresponders. So right after they request the lead magnet, whatever it is, have a series of emails that can be sent out automatically, and those can be to get people back to the site to make a purchase if it's a e-commerce business, or it could be those emails could go out from a salesperson, and they could actually look like personal emails coming from a salesperson on your team, and those could be automatically sent out maybe the day after or 3 days after they request that information. You can have them getting that follow-up email to maybe schedule a call, or just have them reply to that email. All right, I see some more questions coming in, and I will address those in the live Q&A. I want to make sure I get through all of this. So third pillar here is customer value. I already mentioned that this is critical, and it can be that hidden factor and could be a reason why some of your competitors are able to afford to advertise in places that you think they should not be able to advertise. So you want to find ways to increase the average customer value so you can afford to invest more than your competitors. That's the goal here. And the first one is obvious, but I can already see everyone rolling their eyes when I mention increased prices. Most businesses think they cannot increase prices, so I do want to give a quick story from one of my favorite books is Dr. Cialdini's Influence. Highly recommend that book. In that book, there's a story that relates to price, and I promise this will be quick. Basically, it's a store manager who is upset that her jewelry is not getting sold. There's a certain jewelry in her store, this turquoise jewelry, that's not selling. It's really high quality jewelry. She's upset, and she's about to go to a conference. She's going to be away for a week, so she jots down on a piece of paper for her her assistant to cut the prices in half because she doesn't want to see that jewelry when she gets back. She wants that all completely sold out. She's trying to do a fire sale. She leaves, goes to the conference, comes back, and is very happy to see all of that turquoise jewelry is sold out. But then she looks at her revenue for the month, and she's actually shocked because what happened was that her assistant misread her note, and instead of cutting the prices in half, she had doubled the price of that jewelry. So she made a ton of money and had a much more profitable month than she thought she would. So what happened there, well, it all relates to what's called perceived value, and that's a great example of how when you have really low priced products and services, the perceived value is in turn much lower. And if you have higher priced products and services, the perceived value is much higher, even though they might be the exact same product or service. And that goes on. It's a psychological. There's lots of studies similar to that one I just explained, and there are many examples of this. But it's just a natural instinct in human behavior that we all equate higher prices to higher value, and it's basically a shortcut that we do versus trying to really analyze the product or service. So just keep that in mind, because I know most people are extremely hesitant about increasing your prices, but it's possible to increase your prices and actually not hurt your conversion rates. The next area where you can increase your customer value is to add upsells. And the question there is, what else can you do to help your customer even more? So you're already selling, one product or one service or a handful of products and services. What else could you do for your customer that would provide even more value and that they would be happy to pay for? So think through that, and that can be an area to add an upsell. And the third area is to try to get some kind of subscription or continuity revenue in your business, if you don't already. And by that I mean so you might sell a one-off product or service. So by that I mean you sell the product and that's it. They pay $100 or $1,000. You give them the product or the service, and that relationship is basically over. A subscription model is they sign up and they pay you monthly or quarterly or yearly, whatever the subscription frequency is, and now you're in a recurring revenue situation. So you still have to sell, but instead of selling, getting the money, and then having to sell again, you sell, and now you have a consistent stream of revenue that you can continually build up and grow that consistent stream. So the action items here, pretty straightforward. I want you to review your price points and There's two ways to think about it. One, can you increase the real value that you're providing? So what else can you do to actually make your product or service more valuable for the customer? And the other question you need to answer is what can you do to increase the perceived value of that product or service? And that can be, as I already mentioned, as simple as increasing the price. That basically instantly increases the perceived value. You can also look at packaging of your product or service, really polishing it, making it look more professional, look more higher end. And then take another look at your website. Do you have a website that was created in the early 2000s and it's just really outdated and looks low quality? Well, chances are your prospects are getting a very low perceived value from your website, and that's translating to how much they're willing to pay for your product or service. Next, I already mentioned this, what else can you offer to help your customers even more? Think about that in 3 stages. There's pre-purchase, so before they buy your current products and services, what do they typically buy? Or what else do they need? Think about when they're actively buying your product or service, what else do they also need at that moment? And then post-purchase. So after they buy your product or service, what else do they typically need or want? And a lot of times it's as easy as talking to your customers. I'm sure you have at least one customer that you would like to talk to and would actually give you this information. So literally have that conversation and see how else you can help them. And then I already mentioned this, what could you offer as a subscription service? So I know that's a little tricky depending on your business, but I'll give you an example. A friend of mine has a repair service for appliances. Sorry, blanking on the name there. So an appliance repair company, and that sounds like just a one-off deal. People need a repair, you do it, and it's done. But he came up with the idea to have a white glove appliance repair subscription where you pay, I forget the frequency, quarterly or yearly, to have his company come in and basically tune up all of the appliances. And the benefit there is that your appliances last longer. There's no risks of fires with washing machines and dryers and all that. So it cuts down on risks and should save you money in the long run because you're keeping everything tuned up and running optimally so it's not breaking down. All right, pillar number 4, tracking. I realize nobody likes this, but it's absolutely critical. You need to know what's working and what's just wasting your budget. Because I guarantee no matter how good you are at marketing, a part of your budget is certainly being wasted. And it's just a matter of identifying what's not working and then what I call trimming the fat. So just going into the overall marketing, let's say all the different channels that you're doing, identifying which ones are not performing very well and just cutting those out so that you can reallocate or reinvest that budget into what is working. So you might find certain channels, traffic channels that I mentioned earlier, like SEO, Google AdWords, social media. Some of those are going to outperform others, and you'll want to reduce the budget on anything that's not working well and increase the budget in terms of what is working. So the four elements that you need to track in digital marketing, you need to be able to track the traffic per marketing channel. So it's not good enough to know that you're getting 1,000 visitors a month from digital marketing. You need to know that you're getting 500 visitors from SEO, 250 from Google AdWords, and another 250 from social media. So you need to have it broken down by marketing channel. Then you have to have web form conversion tracking. Most businesses, most websites have a web form, like a contact form. You might have a request demo form, schedule an appointment form, whatever it is. You want to make sure you're tracking all of those forms. A lot of businesses want people to be calling them, in which case you need to have some kind of phone call tracking to be able to track the phone calls back to the marketing channel. So again, it's not enough to say you had 100 phone calls in February. You want to be able to break that down and say you had 50 phone calls from SEO, 25 from Google AdWords, and 25 from social media. So you need to pinpoint the leads that you're getting from phone calls and web forms, pinpoint those back to the marketing channel so that you can ultimately calculate your return on investment per marketing channel. And for most businesses, that will require what's called CRM tracking, or customer relationship management tracking. CRM tools like Salesforce, Infusionsoft, Act. There's lots of different tools out there, or you can just use a Google spreadsheet or an Excel file. But the main point here is that you need to track those leads that you're getting. Let's say it's a phone call. It came in from a Google AdWords campaign. So you need to have that documented, and then you need to track that all the way through to the sale in your CRM so that at the end of the month, you can say, I had 5 sales from SEO, 10 sales from Google AdWords, and 15 sales from social media. So that's where CRM tracking comes into play. If you have sales that are happening offline, that's obviously not going to get tracked in your Google Analytics program. It needs to get tracked in your CRM system. All right, so the action items here, I recommend everyone set up Google Analytics. It's a free program. You can just go to google.com/analytics, get that installed on your site, and then you'll set up what are called goals or conversions. And that's any action on the site that you want to track. Most importantly, any web form conversions. And you'll want to set up what's called DNI tracking, or DNI call tracking. It's dynamic number insertion. And I know this gets a little bit technical, but it's actually pretty straightforward to get this set up. The concept is fairly simple. When someone comes to your site from a particular marketing channel, let's just say it's Google AdWords, they clicked on a Google AdWords ad, they come to your site, they'll see phone number A. And that way, if you get a call to phone number A, you know that that was from Google AdWords. But if they clicked on a Facebook ad and then came to your site, they'll see phone number B. And now you know if they called phone number B, they came from the Facebook ad. So that's how you track your phone calls back to the marketing source, or the marketing channel, sorry. And then you need to take that a step further and incorporate this kind of tracking into your CRM system, or if you're just using a spreadsheet, start tracking this in your spreadsheet. And by that, I mean putting the source of the lead, or the source of the lead, put that as a column in the spreadsheet or a field in the CRM contact record. So that way you know you had so many leads that contacted you from SEO, Google AdWords, Facebook ads, and then you can see how many of those turned into sales, and ideally see how much revenue was generated from those sales. And that's how you can tie it all back to return on investment, because you'll know how much you invested for that particular channel. So here's the recap. We talked about traffic, the different traffic tactics you can use. Talked about some different tactics to increase your conversion rate. And we talked about how you can increase your customer value. And then how you can track all of your digital marketing from traffic to conversion to actual sale. And I promised a special offer for the attendees. And that special offer is a digital marketing bundle. It's 3 step-by-step 90-minute video training courses. First one is the complete SEO tune-up. That walks through everything you need to do to get your website set up properly to rank high in Google. The second course is how to set up a profitable AdWords campaign. So that walks you through step-by-step how to set up a Google AdWords campaign properly so that it's set up to be successful as quickly as possible rather than setting it up incorrectly, in which case you can waste a lot of money. And the third training is step-by-step Google Analytics setup and reporting course so that you know how to get Google Analytics set up properly on your site and how to use the reporting tools properly. So we sell all of those for $97 each. So that's a total value of $291. But you can get everything today for only $97. And you can go to mainstreetroi.com/marketing bundle. I realize not everyone is interested in training, so I want to have a special offer for you guys too. And you can get a free SEO assessment. And to claim that, I have the last poll that you will see. And that poll just says, do you want a free SEO assessment? Yes, I want an assessment. Maybe I'd like to talk to someone first. Or no, I'm not interested. I'll leave that up for 5 more seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let me close that down. And that brings us to Q&A. Let me do a time check. We've got 7 minutes here. Joshua asked, is there a limited time to use this offer? There is, but I actually did not write down the deadline. I believe it's towards the end of this month. I think you have about a week to take advantage of that marketing bundle. Excuse me. All right, so there were a couple questions I didn't get to. All right, Sandra asked, what should the email newsletter contain? And a great example, I'm a little bit biased here, but I would recommend getting onto our email newsletter to see a live example of what we send. And you'll notice the structure. So you can get on ours by just going to mainstreetroi.com, and in the footer, so scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a place to opt into the newsletter. And when you get it, you'll see that there's an introduction section, and that just tells you what's in the newsletter, so what the topic is. And it also has a brief little personal note from me, and that seems insignificant, and you might even think it's silly, but the reality is just having that little blurb starts to build rapport with our prospects and customers. So they start to know, like, and trust me personally. The email comes from me, has a little blurb, personal note about, you know, what I'm up to, what I'm doing this week, maybe something that's going on with my kids, maybe it's something about the company. That little blurb, you know, only takes a couple seconds to jot something down. That's actually a critical element in the newsletter because it injects a little personality into the newsletter, and again, helps people connect with you and helps them to start to form that relationship so that they feel like they know, like, and trust you before they even talk to you. So what happens is if you're sending this newsletter on a consistent basis, at least monthly, then over time, you'll start to have people following up and scheduling calls or coming into your office or store, and they'll actually feel like they already have that relationship with you. So it's getting you, one step closer to that sale. It's a very, very easy way to do that. So that's the first section of the newsletter at the top, intro, little personal note, and then you want to get to the meat of the newsletter, which is some kind of helpful information, typically an article or a video, if you have that resources to do that. So you've got some kind of helpful information about the industry. It can be about trends that are going on, mistakes to avoid that are relevant for your business, FAQs that would be helpful for a potential buyer. Basically, just think about what your prospect needs to help them both with their buying decision, as well as just thinking about what other related things are going on that you can help them with. And then you also want to include sections in that newsletter that have, again, social proof, testimonials, and have what I call credibility indicators, which are just like press mentions. So if you've been in the media at all, make sure you put the press logos. If you're a member of an association, put that logo in there. So you've got that credibility by association. And last but not least, have some kind of call to action in your newsletter. So the beauty of a newsletter is it looks and feels just like you're helping the people that are getting that. So it's got a helpful article in it or video, but then when you scroll down, it also has that call to action, so it has a sales piece to it, so people will take action when they're ready for that buying decision. Okay, and then Christopher asked, what is a free report? Again, best example I can show you is just go to mainstreetroi.com. We have a free report right on our homepage. It's the Internet Marketing Survival Guide. So that's an example of a free report. In service businesses, another great example is some kind of consumer's guide. So consumer's guide to buying XYZ, which if you're in the market for getting that particular service, for example, my kids didn't have school today, so I needed childcare. Luckily, my wife was able to take the day off, but let's just say I was looking for childcare. I'd be interested in a report, so some kind of consumer's guide or mistakes to look out for when you're considering hiring a nanny or getting some kind of part-time childcare service. Okay, let's see. Sean Kennedy asked, how easy is it to use the videos for a basic computer user? I would need clarification, Sean. Are you asking how easy is it for you to use videos in your marketing, or are you talking about somebody coming to your site and knowing how to play a video on your site? Oh, sorry. And then you asked another question. Oh, Sean then said, how easy is it to use videos for someone who is lost in SEO and is not web savvy? So video SEO is definitely not where I would start. Again, if you're considering SEO, I typically recommend most businesses do get the foundation set up there. Then it's not difficult. I would recommend going through the course, which is the complete SEO tune-up. So that'll go through everything you need to do, and anyone can do it. There's nothing too overly complicated about it. You just want to cross all your T's and dot all your I's. But again, I wouldn't start with video SEO, which is kind of a subset of SEO. You'd want to get your website tuned up, optimized, and then if you have the resources to create videos, you're already creating videos, then then it can make sense to be optimizing those to make sure you're getting the most out of those videos. All right, last question here, and then we're going to wrap it up. What are your feelings about Yelp and similar groups who aggressively market for subscriptions? So my feelings on Yelp, definitely set up a Yelp profile that will give you a citation and help you with your local rankings. But as far as aggressively marketing, I have heard stories of aggressive salespeople trying to sell advertising, and I would be a little hesitant to jump into that. But Aaron, if you need additional assistance there, feel free to reach out, and that goes for everyone on the line. My contact info at the bottom here. We've got the website, mainstreetroi.com, info@mainstreetroi.com. If you have questions, email there, and then our phone number, 888-405-0307. And I am going to wrap it up. I do ask everyone to please complete the brief survey after the webinar. I'll close it down, and you should get redirected right away to that survey. I think it's only 4 questions. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoy your day. If you're on the East Coast, hope you're staying warm and out of the blizzard. All right, take care.